now it's time to install the ground effects. On most bikes, we'll take this 18 light strip and we'll mount it inside the frame rail on the right side of the bike. And then every other light we will turn towards the other side. These lights can be moved once or twice. You don't want to go back and forth with them several times or you'll break them off. But once or twice you can actually reposition these lights. See if you can see that. You can reposition that light so that it shines to the other side. So when we install this on the frame rail, these lights point down, this light points down towards the right side, this light points over towards the left side. And we can do that with every other pod, just turning it out a little bit. But on this bike, we have a very short frame rail on both sides. And therefore we're going to have to cut this strip in half and use 9 lights on each side of the frame. So I'm going to find my cut line right in the middle, and I'm going to cut that into 2 pieces. Now, I told you that whenever you did that, it's smart to test each piece just in case you got too close to one of those connectors. It's a lot easier to find out you've got a bad light now than it is after installing it and having to remove it. So I'm going to test both of those. They're both fine. And now that's going to go on this side in the front, actually not the front, right directly below the engine, and this one will go on this side. And what we'll do next is we'll get some long wire leads. This is our 39-inch lead. And we'll run that down and forward all the way to that light. It's going to run down there, and it should be just long enough to come back up underneath here to connect to the rest of our wires. So I'm going to get that wire prepared, route it down here, not take up a lot of video time with that, and then we'll show you how we apply these 2 lights and connect everything together. Ground effects. We've got the 2 9-light strips. What I've done is I've run a wire down from underneath the seat, and I've run down back behind the battery box. I've come up on the inside of the brake fluid holder. What do you call that? It's where the fluid goes anyway. And we're run along the inside of the frame rail up to the front here. I've used a 39-inch connector, and it's given me plenty to get up here. And now I've connected that connector wire to my 9-inch strip, my 9-light strip, I'm sorry. And now I want to get this up high enough so that if I ever scrape, I'm not going to have a problem. So it's essentially just up above the bottom of the frame rail on the inside of the rail. Did we get in there pretty good? Let me zoom in maybe a little closer. We're right up here. This is where we are. I think our camera's a little too far back. I think it needs to come forward a little bit to see this hand. This way, to the forward of the bike. There. Now you can see. That's where the light is mounted. And now I'm going to plug in the connector wire to go to my other side. Remember, I can power other strips from an empty plug on any strip. And I'm running that across. I am going to tie that in a moment. It's going to run right along this line down here. I'll come to the other side. Connect my wire. I'll bring that in to this connector here. Plug it in. Tear off the backing. It's tough to do when you don't have good nails. This stuff really sticks on here. Just to get the backing off is sometimes a challenge. Hear that? Really sticks. And now, bring this back as far as we can. Up above the bottom. Light pressure, always light pressure. And there we go. Hiding our wire. Bring it underneath here. And tie, I'm going to put a zip tie on here so it doesn't come down on this line right here. Kind of move it back. Put a tie wrap up here. Fat fingers come into play again. Bring that tie wrap back so that this wire stays up. Tighten it down. And there it is. You don't see it, folks. You don't see it. And there it is. Tied up neatly. No worries. Ground effects are installed.